Hey guys, it's Marla. Welcome back to Twinstrology. This is the Twin Flame Divine Love Energy Report for the Leo New Moon Solar Eclipse. If you would like more information about me or you're interested in getting a reading with me, you can visit my website, which is twinstrology.com. And I want to just invite everyone to the Twin Flames Together workshop that's happening in Boston, Massachusetts, October 6th, 7th, and 8th. You can join me along with my friends Dio Veselinoff, Negla Elshemi, and Donna Fisher. And we're going to be facilitating a second Twin Flame group meeting. So I hope that I can see you there. Okay, so we have coming up on August 21st at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, a new moon total solar eclipse. This is going to be some really powerful energy. And I mean, if the energy hasn't been powerful enough for you this month, ever since the Lion's Gate opened on the 26th of July, things have been really intense. Well, in fact, I have to go back and say that things have been really intense since the Cancer new moon. But with this last eclipse that we had, the full moon lunar eclipse that we just had in Aquarius on the 7th, things have been really, really intense. And that eclipse was all about releasing because it was a full moon eclipse on the south node. And we all talked about it and we all knew it was going to be about releasing. And yet I don't know if any one of us really foresaw like how intense that big release was going to be. And many people are still dealing with it. And in fact, we're going to be dealing with this energy up to the solar eclipse and even beyond that a little bit, because the healing that we're going through is incredibly intense, and it has to be done in stages. So this eclipse that's coming up, the solar eclipse, okay, now remember this is a new moon solar eclipse. When we have new moons, those are new beginnings, and eclipses are 3 times more powerful than a normal new moon. So this is really a time for you to set your intentions, not just for the coming month, but eclipse energies are longer. So the energy from this eclipse will be felt quite intensely for about 90 days, but it will be in effect until the following set of eclipses, which it's going to be next year. So you have like 6 months of this energy to work with it. Definitely take the time to set your intentions. It's also a total eclipse, which means that the sun is going to be completely covered by the moon. Now this is going to be visible from the United States, which has been a pretty big deal. Many of you are being asked to go to the path of the eclipse if you're able. So not everyone in the U.S. will be able to see the eclipse in its totality. If you look online, you'll see a path of where to go if you want to view it. And so light workers are being asked to go there and kind of hold the light for those on the path. If you're able to go there, it's probably going to be, the energy will be a bit more intense for you that can go there and see it. But if you can't, that's okay too. I'm not going to be in the path of the eclipse. I'm being called to go someplace else and hold my energy there and do some healing in some other areas. But that's okay. But if you're able to, great idea for you to go there. So the total eclipse is when the sun is completely blocked out. Now this also adds another level of this new beginning energy, because the sun is completely blocked out. It's like the light goes off and then comes back on. So it's very representative of this new beginning energy. It's like we get a power surge with an eclipse. And it's like as the moon covers it, that power is not being sent to us, you know? And then when it comes back online, we have this extra force of energy then being brought to us. And of course, this eclipse is on the north node. The last one was on the south node. So now instead of releasing something, we're being given new opportunities. The north node is our life path. It's our destiny. It's our soul growth. So this is really good news for your soul because it's pushing you, it's guiding you to where you need to be. And if you need to do a little bit of catching up to get on your path, then this will help you do that. Of course, this energy is in Leo, and we've been dealing with this Leo energy. This is, remember, we had the new moon at 0 degrees of Leo. Then we had the full moon at 15, which is in the center of Leo. Now this eclipse is at the end of Leo. It's on the 29th degree. It's actually at 28 degrees and 53 minutes, but we round that up to the 29th degree. That's the last degree of the sign. And so it's like us getting this big rush of power for this Leo energy before the sun goes into Virgo. And the sun is going into Virgo on the 22nd, so the next day. Now this Leo energy has been bringing us a lot of courage and getting us into our heart, because that's what Leo rules, our heart. And Leo rules love and romance, love affairs, our creativity, and has the extension of our love and creativity. It rules children. It rules how we play, our hobbies, how we have fun. It rules our passions. And so this energy can be stirring up this new beginning in any of those areas of your life. But of course, you have Leo somewhere in your chart. So wherever Leo is in your chart, you can find where that is specific to you. But what this Leo energy has been doing, and will continue to do, because even though the sun is moving out of Leo, we still have the north node there. The north node is going to be there for another year. So this is going to continue to push us to become heart-centered. And so we've been healing our heart. And that's part of the release that we've been doing. Now, what I'm getting for the divine feminine, the energy that you've been going through and that you'll continue to go through at least for the next few weeks, is you've been in this cycle of very intense healing. Now, the feminine has been healing herself and rising up for years. But with this eclipse energy, it's gotten very intense because there's still areas of our heart that are not opened. Or for a lot of the divine feminine, they're in their heart most of the time, but certain triggers can have them shut their heart down. And so this is what this half has been facing. Getting down to some of these nitty-gritty type of fears and insecurities. This is having to face your deep, dark shadow, like the kind of the bottom of the barrel. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to be completely healed after this eclipse, because there's always going to be more. But some of the major triggers around keeping your heart open should be healed. Now, even though you've been working on it for a long time and you're saying to yourself, well, why aren't we done with this yet? Well, like I was alluding to at the beginning, this healing, it has to come in stages. It's not like we can just rip the bandage off here, because that can do soul damage. It has to happen little by little. And there's a big reason for this, the Spirit is telling me. And that is, we have to develop enough self-love, because we get to this really bottom of the barrel shadow work. We can uncover some really, how do I want to word this? Some things, some feelings that we've had that maybe are a bit disturbing, that we could judge ourselves for very negatively and think, my God, how could I think that? How could I do that? And be very harsh and critical with ourselves. But that's not the point, and that's not what Spirit wants us to do. Spirit wants us to be compassionate and to see and to realize that those triggers and our reaction to those triggers, those patterns, they're not you. They're just a learned behavior based on previous areas of pain and trauma. Okay, they're not a true reflection of you, because you are love. And so we have to take these baby steps, breaking free a little bit along the way and healing a little bit along the way, so that when we get to this really intense stuff, we have the compassion and the self-love for ourselves to know that that pattern does not represent who we are, and we do not need to suffer guilt and shame over having once had that pattern. Now, for the Divine Masculine, what I'm feeling for you, you have decided to go ahead with your healing. So for a long time, the Divine Masculine has not wanted to open their heart. They've been keeping it closed or frozen, however you want to look at it. And they didn't want to go there. And you have avoided the work, or you were afraid to do the work, quite frankly, because you were afraid to look at that part of yourself or to open yourself up, to become vulnerable again. But this Lionsgate energy has opened you up enough to now, I hear the Divine Masculine saying yes to continue with the healing. So the universe can do a lot for us. And the universe is willing to assist us in healing, but the universe can't just come in and say, "Nah, I'm going to heal you." We have to be a part of it. We have to be willing. We have to be willing to surrender and allow the universe in. We have to be able to end our resistance and agree to it. And so that's where I feel you, the Divine Masculine, are. You've said, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to open my heart. And maybe I'll struggle and maybe it'll be painful. But I'm going to do it anyways. And that is truly amazing to see the masculine energy shifting so much. And so I'm also getting a message for the whole collective of twin flames. And this would apply to all light workers, really, anyone on the ascension path. And one of the other things that Leo rules is our individuality. Remember at the full moon, I talked about how we are pressured by things like corporations and the media to surrender our individuality and become like robots and just do whatever we're told. But us on the ascension path, us light workers, are here to break away from that. We're not going to do what we're told. We're not going to be just like everyone else. We're going to show our individuality. And that is this other beautiful thing that this Lionsgate and North Node and Leo energy is bringing to us. We're ready to stand up and be our authentic selves. We're okay with not being part of the crowd. And we're called to do this. And many of the things that we do as light workers goes against the grain still of society. Always talking about love and light. Not that light workers have to only be love and light, because, I've just talked about confronting our shadow side. But we try to spread love wherever we go. We tend to live in our heart. We go against the grain as far as political ideas and religious ideas. A lot of us are channels and psychics and mediums and tarot readers and energy healers, or whatever our chosen profession is. We're doing something different. For example, I know doctors, and I know nurses, and I know psychologists, and I know lawyers. I work with twin flames from all walks of life. And they're breaking traditions in all areas. They're doing things differently. They're standing up to the status quo. Now, us as light workers and twin flames, we have this innate wisdom. We have wisdom that does not come from this world, that either comes from other dimensions, that comes from other galaxies. We're connected to galactic beings. And we have to be able to stand strong in our individuality and our truth and our authenticity, to be able to share this with the world. And it may seem at times that people are rejecting us, that people are not listening to us, that people maybe even mock us. But there's also a lot of people that you're affecting every day, that you're changing just by going about your business. Maybe something you post on Facebook or something you say to someone as you're, shopping in the store. You don't realize the power that you have to shift people. And ultimately, all of this takes courage. Whether, it's the divine feminine facing their darkest shadow, whether it's the divine masculine opening up their heart, or whether it's the collective agreeing to stand in their truth. And Uranus and Jupiter are just coming into their opposition, and that's getting tighter and tighter. And as these two planets get closer in their aspect, more and more truth is going to come out. And we'll be shown different perspectives. That goes back to what I said a couple months ago about illusions falling. We will see in different areas things that we thought we knew or that we could trust was really an illusion. So a lot of courage, a lot of heart, and this is really healing and changing us. The new moon solar eclipse is going to be conjunct a fixed star known as Regulus, which some of you might have heard of. This fixed star is known as the heart of the lion, and it's said to be of royal quality, to give planets connected to it, like say if it's in your natal chart, courage and independence and ambition. And so having the new moon here conjunct Regulus is giving us those qualities. It's giving us a very intense surge of those qualities. But there's a little catch. Now, Regulus is known as one of the 4 royal stars, or some people call them the Persian stars, and they're known as the 4 watchers also. And they represent the 4 directions, north, south, east, and west. A long time ago, these stars used to represent the equinoxes and solstice points. But they're no longer, even though they move extremely slow, you know, they're not called fixed stars for nothing. They have moved out of that alignment, but they still have this connection as the 4 watchers. And so they're said, each star is said to give qualities. As I said, Regulus is courage, independence, ambition. But each one also has a caveat attached to it. So for Regulus, it will give you those qualities, but there's a catch. And that is that if you seek revenge, then those qualities will turn negative. And I bring this up because I think we're going to see this as we get into the card. But there's a message here that I'm getting for twins about revenge or retaliation. And that is that we must put our differences aside. It's not in our best interest to try to retaliate against our twin, to hold things from the past against them. And, you know, for the divine feminine's part, in many cases, you have been pretty hurt and pretty beat up by the divine masculine. And yet with this new moon, the solar eclipse, we have this chance for a new beginning. But if we fall back into that, I need to get revenge, I need tit for tat, I'm going to make this person pay for what they did to me. You're not going to get the outcome that you're hoping for. We have to let go of the past and take hold of the new beginning and really focus on it being new. The other thing about it being connected to the star Regulus is that each of these stars that I'm talking about, and these stars, in case you want to know, I've talked about this before a bit, but if you're new, it's Regulus, Antares, Fomalhaut, and Aldebaran are the 4 stars. So each one is also connected to the energy of an archangel. And when I look at these stars, that's how I usually read their energy, is I see the connection to the archangel. So Regulus is connected to Archangel Raphael. And Raphael is God's healer. And he's connected to the green energy of the heart chakra. And so the message here is that your heart is healing. You may still have some issues to confront over the next little bit of time, but it's part of your healing and you can trust that. It's time to open your heart, and the universe is helping us right now to let go of the old wounds, to let go of the old patterns, the old programs, the old stories, and move forward into a bright new beginning if we allow it. And if you need help, do not hesitate to call on Archangel Raphael to come and send healing to your heart chakra. So there's a lot going on in the astrology of being supported right now as we make this transition. And that's really what it is. We're all in just this huge transition. For many people, it kind of feels like a void. Or even if it's one area of your life, you feel a void because the timelines are shifting and you've let go of one timeline, but you haven't jumped onto a new one. So remember last time when I talked about people movers and conveyor belts and escalators and stuff, it's like you're in midair jump. You've jumped from one timeline, you're going to the next one, but right now you're in midair. And everything's just kind of up in the air of what's going to happen when you land. And sometimes that can be a bit uncomfortable. But universally, we are being so supported. This new moon solar eclipse is trine to Uranus. And this is really helping bring in that new energy. And Uranus is sudden changes, sudden shifts. And, you know, getting that sudden insight that in a moment changes everything. So that is really a big help as far as breaking free of old patterns. The new moon is in conjunct to Chiron. And so, remember, in conjunctions ask us to change something, to make some kind of adjustment within ourselves to bring the energy into alignment. And it has to do with karma. So breaking free of old patterns and going and healing. The healing that we're doing is not just about this timeline. The healing that we're doing is multidimensional. So you're healing past lives. Even if you're not doing it consciously, you are. And that's being shown through Chiron. Mars is coming into a conjunction with the North Node. This is giving us a drive to go further on our path. And they're trining Saturn, who's in a conjunction exactly with Black Moon Lilith. But when Mars and Saturn come together, this is a bit of, when they come together, you really feel your restriction. Because Mars is our drive and wanting to do something while Saturn is like pulling us back and saying no. Because we have to do certain lessons, we have certain steps and things that we have to do. So Mars and Saturn is often an uncomfortable feeling. But you will be shown what you need to change, what you need to let go of, and how to do that. And you're really getting pushed, like with Black Moon Lilith on Saturn. It's really about pushing right now through any barriers you've set up to stand in your authentic truth, to really get to the bottom of who you are as a soul and to move forward. Jupiter's right in there too. Jupiter's sextiling Saturn and Mars. Now, this is helping with manifestation. There's growth. If you remember a few years ago, we had this T-square with Jupiter and Neptune and Saturn, and we were talking about manifesting our dream. This is like another little piece of that dream coming forward right now. And there's aspects of relationships and new energy come into relationships that's really blooming and blossoming for us. At the same time, we have Venus, who's squaring Uranus and trining Chiron. This is coming into aspect at the eclipse, and so it's going to carry on past the eclipse. And Venus is also, did I say she was in conjunct Chiron? She's trine Chiron, square Uranus. She's in conjunct the South Node. And so this is going to create a shift around the way you love, how you love, who you love, clearing things from past lives and letting go of old patterns. Being able to do things differently. But what Spirit is showing me about that aspect is that it can bring some challenges with it. There can be arguments and there can be some purging around it. It wasn't that long ago that Venus squared Chiron. And I remembered I channeled a message about that energy because it was so intense about really facing our soul wounds that are stopping us from opening up our heart. So it'll be in trine this time instead of square. So it'll be a little bit easier, but it may still bring up some stuff. And with Saturn, there can be something unexpected happening. And there's a possibility that something could happen if you're still with a karmic partner. You might find out something. You might get some truth or some news or see something around that karmic partner. Perhaps they're deceiving you in some way. Or there's some karmic pattern that's playing out. That you might see for the first time. But it takes that challenge is what you need in the moment in order to shift you. So you have to see it like that. Now the 26th is also going to be a big day. The 26th is the closing of the Lion's Gate. It's another 8/8 day. And this is the day that Saturn goes direct. Saturn is the keeper of our life path. He guides us on our life path. And that's why this aspect is important. So he's been in retrograde, I believe, since April. And the whole time that he's been in Sagittarius, which has been a while, he's been helping us with our belief systems. And especially when he goes retrograde, he's really helping us tune in to our belief system so that we can get clear on what our beliefs are and how they're limiting us in some way. So that's what we've been doing, and now he's ready to go forward. It's like we've pinpointed some of those patterns, and we're ready to let go, and we're ready to shift now into the new energy and go forward. And we're clear. We have more clarity on what our life path is and what we're supposed to be doing. And we're ready, because remember, he's conjunct Black Moon Lilith as well. And Lilith has to be authentic. She has to be herself. She preferred getting banned from the Garden of Eden rather than compromise any aspect of who she was. I mean, that's strength and power. And so that's the energy of where we're at. It's like we just have to be who we are. Venus on the 26th also enters Leo. So when she's been in Cancer, she's been more sensitive. We've been a little bit emotional. And Cancers tend to protect, wanting to protect their heart, living inside a shell. And it'll be a bit of a relief when she goes into Leo. She's more playful and more fun, flirty in Leo. And perhaps we won't be so emotionally intense. Now, on that same day, like I told you, the 26th was going to be a big day. The Sun meets up with Mercury. And remember, Mercury's retrograde and has been retrograde since the 12th. And I feel that there's going to be a message. And it's also time to slow down, make sure things are done right, double check things, and just know that you have to be patient. When I say there's going to be a message, it could either be communication from someone from the past, or it could be a message from your higher self. But I feel like you'll get something, some kind of guidance or direction. And then the last thing I want to mention is the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. This is where Mercury is going to station to go direct. And Mercury is stationing conjunct Mars on the 29th degree of Leo. I mentioned this 2 videos ago when I talked about the astrology that was coming up for the fall and how intense everything was. Well, Mars and Mercury together at the same time, so it's not just like the one planet goes through and triggers the eclipse degree and then the other planet goes through and triggers it. Both of these planets at the same time are meeting up on the 29th degree and triggering this eclipse energy. This is going to get triggered again when Venus comes through. But what I'm feeling about this is that it's giving us a second chance here by Mercury going retrograde and going all the way back to that 29th degree. This is allowing you to reassess all the choices that you made during the Lion's Gate. And are you happy with those choices? If you are, then fine. But if you're not, then you're getting a second chance to redo what you need to redo. The last thing I want to mention about the astrology is the Sabian symbol for the solar eclipse. A mermaid has climbed to the rocky shore of a bleak coast. She awaits the prince who will bring her immortality. Such a great symbol for twin flames and what's going on with twin flames right now. So we have a mermaid who's coming out of the water. This is the divine feminine now being able to come out of the water. Water represents emotions. We've been swimming around in our emotions. We've been diving down into our depths, getting very clear on our wounds, our insecurities, our fears, our doubts. Any emotion or trigger that's been holding us back, the divine feminine has been working on confronting those one by one and making herself stronger and more powerful. This is being represented by that mermaid who's now climbing out of the water onto the rocks. This is the transformation point for the divine feminine. And we could really say the divine feminine has risen because we're no longer going to be in the water. We're changing now. We're on land. That part of the journey is done. And this is a new part of the journey coming in. Transmutation. Evolution. This is showing that we've done it. And then it says, she awaits the prince who will bring her immortality. And so this is really just saying now it's the divine masculine's turn. It's the divine masculine's turn to get into that water, to swim around in the sea of their emotions, and to dive down into your depths, and to see what's holding you back and what kind of limitations you've created for yourself. And when you've done that, the prince will also join the mermaid. And that is when immortality is going to be achieved. Immortality in that there's no more fear. Because we know that there is no end. Okay, so let's talk about the cards. The first card is the goddess card of what energy is ruling the solar eclipse. Mat, fairness. The situation will be handled in a fair and just manner. Okay, remember what I said about Regulus and Raphael and having to let go of retaliation and revenge? Well, that's what Mat is saying. As you gotta let go of the past. It's not for us to worry about justice. The universe will handle the justice. And we don't know, in most cases, the full story of the divine masculine, so we don't know everything that they've gone through. But it's about trusting in the universe, and the universe is just. And so everything will be handled in fairness. Okay, I've done something a little bit different. You'll see as I go along. The card for the overall energy of twin flame unions at the solar eclipse is we have 10 of Swords, chemistry, and you can do it. Well, there's an ending here. And this is part of the clearing that we're going through. In order to transition from the ending to the new beginning, we're having to, in a way, die. But we're having to go within and really look at ourselves and clear away the old. There's like no part of us that can be spared. Everything has to be looked at right now. But with the ending comes a beginning. And twin flames are being drawn together simply through the chemistry or the physics, and there's nothing that we need to do to worry about it. You can do it. Let go of the old and just trust. You know, take a leap of faith. Stop procrastinating. A lot of you are procrastinating about making changes in your life. This is a new beginning. Stop procrastinating. Go for it. You got this. You know what to do. And Archangel Michael is behind you. This is a spiritual warrior energy. And Archangel Michael, of course, has courage, gives us courage. What is positive about twin flame unions right now? Well, things are beginning to shift very quickly. This is the timelines. The timelines are moving. And even though we might be in that void, Spirit is saying, watch for signs and synchronicities to let you know that you're on the right path. And basically what you have to do is surrender. Surrender to the not knowing. It's part of the beauty of being alive right now. This could be the third energy, you know, however you want to see it, whether you want to see it as dimensions converging or timeline shifting or the third energy grounding. Change is here, and change is going to be coming faster and faster. Express your love. Well, for some of you, this literally means express your love to your twin flame or your divine partner. For others, this is saying, be love in everything that you do. Whoever you talk to, whatever situation you're in, bring the energy of love there. Drink more water. Okay, well, there's probably going to be DNA upgrades because one of the messages always is drink more water when we're having those upgrades. So there's going to be some kind of changes to your physical body or bringing more light, bringing more of your light body online. But also, this goddess has to do with seeing your inner beauty, having, feeling attractive and balance in relationships. What's challenging for twin flames in their union. Believing in yourself. There's still issues with trusting ourselves, self-esteem, and moving forward. Soulmate. Yes, this is your soulmate. For some of you, this is a challenge because, like I said, you're not knowing how or still struggling with moving forward. But remember, you can do it. Take charge of this situation. If no one moves forward, nothing's going to happen. Okay, it's up to you to take action here. However that looks. And for some, for some of the divine feminine, it seems like you're being called to maybe reach out to your divine masculine. Of course, there's no reason why the divine masculine can't reach out to the divine feminine. Again, stop procrastinating. Some of you are dragging your feet. Or you're still not letting go. You're still not shifting. You're still letting fears control you. Find your courage. Take charge. Be the leader that you are. What is the focus of the divine feminine? Letting go of the past. Walking away. It's time to move on. Let go of those past life patterns. They're not useful anymore. Confront them and get rid of them. Find the blessing in your current situation. Well, everything happens for a reason. And yes, the divine feminine has been very challenged and still is being very challenged. But all of it happened for a reason. And also with your divine masculine, find the blessing in the situation that will help you let go of your resentment. A lot of the stuff that happened was due to past life circumstances. And those patterns had to be brought up in order for them to be healed. And so that's part of the blessing in the situation. See beyond your own pain and see the bigger picture. How the divine feminine is feeling about the divine masculine. Well, the foundation is set as far as you're concerned, and you're ready to move forward. And you're ready to celebrate. You're ready to take this new beginning energy and move forward. And you're saying that the divine masculine is worth waiting for. And you're allowing for divine timing. It's like you know it's going to happen. You can feel it in your bones. And in some respect, you're almost like ready to sit back now. You've the divine feminine, so many of you have kind of detached, and you're just like, okay, it is what it is. And right. So maybe some of you are needing to write. With this card, I would say you really have to reflect within and see what this card means for you. For some of you, it's going to be to reach out. But for others, maybe it's about writing a letter to your twin, getting out all your emotions and then burning it. Not sending it, but just as a way to express some of your feelings so that you can let go of some of the anger. What's challenging the divine feminine right now? Broken heart. Because a lot of that stuff is coming up, churning up within you, and you're feeling a lot of abandonment issues, and you're feeling a lot of pain associated with this connection, and you're feeling the pain of having to open up your heart, which is a big thing. And for some of you, you're not wanting to let your heart open up still. Or like I said at the beginning, you're starting and stopping, or you're opening and closing it, I should say. But love yourself first. That is the first step. When you love yourself, it cushions the blow when someone else rejects you. Because you don't need to seek validation from them. You feel all right in your own skin. So when you're rejected, you don't have to take it so personally. And if you're, in fear of the divine masculine have been very hurtful and rejected the divine feminine a lot. But it's not because of you. It was more because of them. It was because they were afraid and they didn't have their heart open and they didn't know what to do. And that's why they rejected you. So it's not something you should take personally. Come out of the closet. This is about opening your heart, shining your heart energy, shining your heart light, being who you truly are. And in order to be who you truly are, you have to be in the open heart space. For some of you, this goes back to connecting with your twin. And maybe you need to come out of the closet with them in some respect. Maybe you need to share something with them or express your feelings to them. And yeah, you're very afraid to do that because you're afraid of rejection. Again, I leave that up to you for how you're going to interpret the card. But this is, trusting in your own beauty. This goddess on here, or this ascended master, Amaterasu, she was the sun, and she hid. Her brother scared her, and she hid in a cave. And when they held a mirror up to her, she saw her own beauty. She decided to come out. And that's what I feel is like for you, divine feminine. It's like, don't hide yourself anymore. See your inner beauty. See that you're worth love. When you know your worth and your value and you love yourself, it won't matter what the divine masculine does. And part of this too is letting go of the past and letting go of the past hurt that you've suffered from them. What the divine feminine is achieving right now. It's the Ace of Swords. Well, there's some truth coming here. There's clarity coming here. And even though there's been some struggle here, you're being offered a new beginning if you're willing to take it. Letting go of the old patterns. You know, it's like changing your thought process or getting clarity in your thought process. And this could be about communication as well. You may want to communicate something, whether that be to your twin or to someone else, or even to the twin flame community. But get to the bottom of why first. You know, if you want to reach out to your twin, what are you going to say and what is your reason behind it? What are your intentions? Are your intentions pure? Or is there some form of manipulation or something involved? That's what I would ask yourself. But you're becoming more playful. And this goes right along with Venus entering Leo. Recapturing romance. Allow your inner youthfulness to shine. That's all Leo energy. And you know, when we're playful, you know, our intentions are pure. If we're just trying to have fun and be playful. We're not trying to cause an argument or to cause drama. Peace offering. Let go of the past, let go of the old wounds. Perhaps hold out a peace offering to your twin. And that, if that is your reasoning, then your purpose, your intentions are pure. But even though you had those challenges, you can now get a new beginning out of it. Okay, for the Divine Masculine, you are working on your future. You know, I think some of you are still in that planning planning stage. You're having patience. It's like you're waiting for something to develop. I think for some of you, it's like you're still a bit shy, standoffish. Perhaps you're waiting for more healing, or you're waiting for your heart to open up more. Keep an open mind. This is about having no expectations. Just allowing things to unfold. This relationship is different than any other relationship that you're used to. So trying to fit your divine feminine into the role of your karmic partner or what your previous partners did is not going to work. Because the divine feminine is, well, they're in a major transformation. And they've let go of a lot of those old patterns. So stay open. Things will not be as they have gone in the past. And then meditate. So go within, get some quiet time. You're trying to hear the messages of your higher self right now, and that's why this quiet time is so important to you. Even if you don't meditate, go for a walk in nature, or somehow quiet your mind. This is also about hearing your truth right now, too. That's something I see like running through your cards for the Divine Masculine, and I talked about like Jupiter and Uranus coming into opposition and stuff. It's time to face truth. And let's be honest, Some of you have been running away from your truth for a while. But part of your healing process now is to face it. How the divine masculine is feeling about the divine feminine. Well, you're still on the defensive a little bit. You're still protecting yourself. And part of that is because you're still dealing with the roots of your situation. These patterns that you're kind of stuck in right now, these are very old patterns that go very deep. And so you are still working on clearing a lot of them. And until that happens, you know, you're struggling still with the defensiveness, with some of your ego issues. Let go of control issues. Allow the situation to unfold naturally. You have tried to control the situation for a very long time. And the way many of you have tried to control it is by running. Now, I'm not saying that you're running now, but you're still stuck in that wanting to control things. And again, that's ego coming up. When you're in ego, you're not in your heart. When you're in your heart, you surrender and you let go. But this is going back to your vulnerability. You're not wanting to feel vulnerable, you know, because you're defensive, so you're trying to control. Just let it happen. Focus on your strengths. So some of you are still working on your self-esteem, still trying to find who you truly are, and you're feeling less than the divine feminine somehow. Maybe you feel she's healed more, or she's got more power than you, that she's got more to offer than you. But that is your own stories, your own fears, because the divine feminine sees you as an equal. But Apollo's message is focus on your strength. If you focus on anything negative about yourself, or you see yourself as less than, then you create more of that in your life. But focus on your strengths and you'll begin to heal your self-esteem. You know, we're in this Leo energy of seeing who you are as an individual and what you have to offer. Embrace who you are. What is challenging for the divine masculine right now? Opening your heart is what is challenging you. Just like the divine feminine right now is also challenged on fully opening her heart. The masculine is going through the same thing. This you're beginning to feel the love, and perhaps it's making you a bit uncomfortable. You're not really sure what to do. Perhaps it's a struggle for you not to run. But this card is also representing healing and growth and getting back to that state of innocence. True love. This is the romance of a lifetime. Again, the divine masculine, you're definitely getting messages about the divine feminine and that this is your true love, because both of these cards reflect true love And this one is also about past lives. Or someone from your past. But I'm feeling that you're struggling with your insecurities and you're struggling with how you're going to be received by the Divine Feminine, whether she's going to accept you or not. Again, you're seeing her as somehow in a better position than you, let's say. But that's not true. Ganesh, yes. So whatever question you were thinking, the answer is yes. If you were thinking, is this your soulmate? Is this your twin flame? The answer is yes. If you were thinking, should I open my heart? The answer is yes. If you were thinking, should I move forward? The answer is yes. Ganesh is the remover of obstacles. So any challenges that you're afraid of facing because of opening your heart or going after true love, the message here is that those obstacles will be removed. It's time to go forward. What the Divine Masculine is excelling at right now, or what they are achieving, they're achieving healing, emotional healing, and they're opening up their heart. You are dealing with issues of codependency. And this is dealing with, I feel, your lack of self-esteem or seeing yourself in a negative light, negative thought patterns or processes where you feel yourself less than, which causes codependency. Some of you are still in karmic relationships and you're beginning to see the codependent pattern in those relationships and you're not liking it. And this is about not seeking validation from other people. Learning to validate yourself. And King Solomon's message is priorities. So this is good because this is saying that you, Divine Masculine, are now setting the right priorities for yourself. You're setting boundaries. You're saying no to things that aren't for your highest good. Like you're not just doing things anymore because it's expected of you or because you don't want to say no. You're learning to say no. You're making time for yourself, possibly so that you can meditate. But you're making yourself a priority and you're making a healing a priority. And that's really important. And this is going to help you with the procrastination and get you moving ahead on things. I'm not sure if I said this, but I'm feeling you make your healing a priority, and you're learning more. You're learning more about this process. Perhaps you're learning more about twin flames, or you're learning more about something having to do with the occult. But you're making time for those things, I feel. Okay, the outcome, like what energy are we heading into around this eclipse? The Two of Swords. Okay, well, this is like being at a crossroads, or you come to this end of the line type of thing, and what do I do? Decisions have to be made right now. And you're wondering, do I go forward? How do I go forward? Am I ready to take these steps? It's like the twins seem to be achieving balance. And yet, it's like, what do we do now? For some of you guys, there's like, I'm sensing like a gap. And it's like, how do we bridge this gap? How do we come together again? How do we work things out here? Now, for the feminine, how you're going to bridge the gap is you're going to let go of the past and maybe present a peace offering. For the masculine, you're going to continue on your healing, and you're going to heal your inner issues, and you're going to open your heart. And that means you got to stop running, and you got to start facing your truth. And, you know, it's a sword. Facing your truth. You deserve love. That's the truth. Whether you're masculine or feminine, you deserve love. And you are both beginning to see that you deserve love. And this is making you ready to move forward. This is causing you to take these action steps because you're thinking, you know what? I do deserve love. And I'm going to do what I'm guided to do, take the steps I'm guided to take in order to get that. And I'm going to move forward, and I'm going to see what this is bringing to me. I'm going to see where this is leading me. And the last card is Manjushri. Listen. So you're being guided. If you don't know the steps to take, you're being guided. Your higher self is talking to you. Listen. Your guides are listening to you. This is why you need to go within right now. Trust in your higher guidance. The messages are there. Listen to your heart is what I just heard. That's what this card means. Listen to your heart. As we have this solar eclipse on the last degree of Leo, and we're moving towards the end of this Leo energy. Of course, we still have Venus to go through there, and we're going to have the North Node in Leo for a while. But this big push to get in your heart, it's culminating. So, is your heart open, and are you listening to it? If you are, then you know this, that you deserve love. And you're going to take the steps that you need to take. You're going to go forward in order to find it. All right, guys, some really good cards, good energy coming in. Not that it's going to be a breeze, but you know, the masculine and feminine, they're both working so hard right now. I'm really proud of you guys, and I know that those up above are really proud of you. And just keep the faith and keep going. Opening our hearts fully and keeping them open is going to be like so rewarding. It's going to be worth all the challenges. All right, so don't forget to set your intentions. Happy eclipsing. Twinstrology is my website. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you in a few weeks.